Tonight on Joy News Prime, 1 full year since President Akufo-Addo started his second term, we ask, what is your assessment?
Man has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that he can prepare the country and the youth.
Now people need work.
First term is a little better. None of them is okay, but the first term is better. Second term, not encouraging at all.
We have analysis and your comments. You can join us via our social media platforms at Joy News on TV. Also in this bulletin, as Joy News gets ready to show yet another documentary highlighting child slavery in Ghana's cocoa growing areas, we'll tell you what to expect and what this means for one of the country's biggest forex earner.
12 million. You only see the way you found 50 16.
And as the country marks the Constitution Day today, we reflect on what this day means to people.
Of the Constitution, 1992 Constitution, how it came about and the logics behind why they were put in place.
Every day we are expected to live our lives in conformity with what the Constitution states. So I don't necessarily think that a special day should be designated for a Constitution Day.
And business implementation of government's policy directive on reversal of benchmark discounts on some imported items deferred once again. Meanwhile, government is being urged not to succumb to pressure to suspend the directive.
I think that between importation and production, I'll go for production, a local production.
Okay.
And of course, in the long run, you don't start local manufacturing at the economy of.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Joy News Prime comes to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on Go TV channel 144 and DSTV channel 421. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Do stay tuned for details. It's 1 year today since President Akufo-Addo and New Patriotic Party started a second-term mandate in a year when the world is just emerging out of the pandemic. What would be your assessment of the president's performance in 1 year? Here's a News Desk report.
It is my duty and honor to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Let peace reign. Thank you.
The declaration by the Electoral Commission Chair, Jane Mensah, was the high point in what had been a keenly contested election, December of 2020. President Akufo-Addo, also the candidate of the ruling New Patriotic Party, managed to scrape through a little over 6.7 million votes, representing 51.3%, beating John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress. The win coming on the back of months of campaigning in the midst of a pandemic, drew wild jubilations, and of course, people were expectant.
Because the good news and you're all happy.
And where do you stay? Where do you stay? At Abraka. Oh, so you rushed
yes,
to this
yes,
point?
Okay.
I was actually anxious when the result was not in. So I came home from work and I sat right back at my TV waiting for the result to be announced by the EC. So I was actually waiting for the result.
This man has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that he can prepare the country and the youth. Because you and I can attest that since time memorial, anytime politicians come, they come here to deceive us. At least we can show what Nana Addo have done this year for his 4 years. So if we give him 4 years additional, we can expect something better.
I, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
With a parliament that has the same number of MPs on both sides, everyone, including the president, knew this second term in office was not going to be business as usual. It has been a roller coaster year as the world continues to live under the ravages of COVID-19. The government has blamed the slowdown of the economy on the effects of the pandemic and continues to promise that the years ahead will be better. Here is the president in his Christmas message last month.
Our economy, which was growing at an average of 7% in 2017, in 2018, and in 2019, grew by 0.4% in 2020 because growth in industry, services, tourism, and manufacturing sectors which drive the economy and provide jobs for many Ghanaians contracted dramatically in 2020 as a result of the sudden disruption in the global supply chain and the steep decline in the global economy, which sent the global economy into recession. The work undertaken by my government over the last 5 years in education, healthcare delivery, agricultural and industrial transformation, infrastructural enhancement, especially in the road sector, the empowerment of the security services, and the development of the digital economy, amongst others, is evident. I appeal to you to stand shoulder to shoulder with my government in these trying times. You have stood with me most of my adult life. You gave me a resounding victory in 2016, and you returned me to office again with the help of God, with another decisive victory in 2020, because I fulfilled largely the commitments I made to you in 2016.
But what do people, the ordinary people who queue to cast their ballot, have to say?
The first term was better, but I believe the COVID-19 affected his second term. So, things are not moving on well as it should have been. The COVID-19 really affected his second term. It's affecting his second term. Fuel prices are high, but it's all over the world.
For the first term, he did very well, and then I think things work out. But the second term seems the way things are going, and then there has been new implementation of I think the e-levy, and then the way some workers, especially those who are not all that educated, are complaining about the economy. I think there has been a hardship in the economy, and then people are suffering a lot. Yeah, I think, and then there has been inflation is everywhere, and then day in, day out, price of goods are always increasing. So I think if the president can do something about that one too, I think for the second term he's doing well, but for the look of things, the way inflation and then those things are happening, if he can do something to help us, I think we'll be cool with it.
People do have work to do, and then people are suffering. So what I'm suspecting for the president what he would do, he said, people need work. Need work. So people, they are make criminal things. So if they like work day, and then I think say people no go do that. So what I'm begging the president to say now, people need work.
First term is a little better. None of them is okay, but the first term is better. Second term, not encouraging at all. It's been challenging. It hasn't been encouraging. The governance, the management, the economy, we are all reading and we are all seeing stuffs. So we hope that he does well. By the time he leaves his office or by the time his term ends, he proves something right.
President Akufo-Addo and his party, the NPP, have 3 more years before Ghanaians go back to the polls. No matter what your assessment may be, the next 3 years would present a full verdict on what would be a full cycle of 80 years of leadership by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
The Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, is the beating heart of the NPP. President Akufo-Addo's party went on the streets to find out people's verdict.
It's been exactly a year following the swearing-in of President Akufo-Addo into her second term of office. Today we've hit the streets of Kumasi to find out from people what the observations are.
Things are difficult, especially for the first year, which is 2021. Things were not easy at all. My problem was the NABCO personnel. I'm not part, but I have people who are part of the NABCO personnel. The way they are suffering, I'll plead to the government to help us so that they can get what they will eat. Because nowadays, the NABCO personnel, if you see one of them, you will be shocked.
The fuel prices are expensive. It's about 320 Ghana cedis now. The president hasn't done anything for us.
0 to 0. So with the
first year of the second term, I think things are not really clear, you see, and I think it's as a result of the mismanagement in the first term, right? Even though we were hit with COVID, but I think if they had managed the economy well, we would have been in a better position than this.
President Akufo-Addo has really disappointed all of us who went to the polls to vote for him.
So far, so good. I'll mark him 70 over 100. Yeah. I'm expecting more from him because I believe in the man, but because of the COVID, everywhere is hard. So I think things will go well.
Well, the president has exactly 3 years to end his tenure of office. I am hoping that he continues to develop the country and especially the Ashanti region. From Kumasi for Joy News, Emmanuel Bright-Kweko reporting.
The opposition National Democratic Congress says the government has been insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians. Here's Sami Jemfi, the party's communications director.
Of hardship, corruption, and wastage. That is how we will describe the first year of the second term. And this had a negative ripple effect on general prices of goods and services. In addition to these new fuel taxes, were also astronomical hikes in existing fuel taxes, the BOST margin, the fuel market margin, and all the existing fuel levies and margins were increased astronomically by government all in the year 2021. And so these draconian tax measures, which were introduced by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government in 2021, coupled with the free fall of the cedi, coupled with persistent fuel increases, and the
ruling MPP insists they have delivered on their mandate while admitting the challenges that exist with the economy. Here's the party's communications director, Yawo Abiyansamoah.
It's been a difficult year exiting COVID, but we are gradually restoring economic and social positions we had before. I think the biggest gain over the year has been foreign relations, where we have managed to get the development bank going with support, international support. Our vaccine diplomacy has been a huge success. Our flagship programs are ongoing, especially roads. The president opened several 1D, 1F factories. Education reform is on track, as well as the most important destination for FDI in West Africa. That means that our performance in the COVID era has been strong. It's been a difficult year, but we are doing well.
That may be well and good, but I mean, at the core of the concerns being raised by a majority of Ghanaians is the increasing cost of living. How do you respond to concerns of that nature?
Increasing cost of living is not just the government's doing. We're actually importing the cost of living from abroad. So all the things we are dependent on and we are importing are very, very expensive. So it's not just the government's doing. It is part of the international reality of post-COVID recovery.
But there are those who would argue that it is part of the government's doing. It is your responsibility to manage the economy. So if we are feeling the pinch, surely you must take the blame.
Nowhere have we repudiated responsibility. The president has acknowledged that conditions are very difficult. He has said it, but we are working towards ameliorating those conditions. That's how come we have kept our flagship programs going. We are still paying school fees across board. We are still energizing the energy sector.
800 cedis is how much it costs to get a child to work on a cocoa farm at Elukrum in the Western North region. The price slightly shoots upwards for children who are older. These are excerpts of Joy News' latest investigations titled Children in Cocoa Labor. Investigative journalist Kwete Nate reports this illegal trade is negotiable between the farmers and the family of victims of trafficking.
12 million. 50 million.
12 million.
Wait. 50 million. You only see the way Kakra, your fan 50 or 16. Hey, I want to cry your cock. One now wait here. It's Yama, Papa. A Bruce, or Monqua. Now, Yasande. Na sika moto be ye bi mu a we ya won agi 12 no afi de be ba mo anyi kakra on nyi 12 no.
Wow.
So so she saying so mo di 8
800
few we were years right 15.
Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, says his outfit will not protect any cocoa farmer found guilty of child labor. Dr. Opoku says that he said this while reacting to a latest Joy News investigative report. The investigation reveals how children are trafficked for a sum of 1,000 cedis to work on cocoa farms.
So you can see that farmers really know that the use of children for this particular activity is not permissible in cocoa. And so, and that is why I said I'm very sad, because, you know, I would rather want a situation where the people had not been exposed to this kind of activity against children for you to be talking about. But situations where farmers are very educated, then I can say that it is a deliberate thing by certain farmers who are doing that. And I want to appeal to Joy. We do not want such issues to be shelved. When it happens like that, we want the news media to cooperate with us and report such matters to the police so that you draw our attention to it. Because look, I am the one in charge of this project. I mean, the child labor thing, and it goes into my head. But when somebody in that I should listen at that time where I was, it wasn't possible I could. So please, we are appealing to you. I mean, if we need to collaborate and work on these projects, we will do that, because look, since 2001, we've done a lot. Sometimes the government, the U.S. government, comes to threaten some of our neighbors and ask that, look, if we are not doing enough against this, but we are doing it not because we are doing a lot of education. The only thing we don't know is that we don't have the power of arrest. And sometimes some of these things you wouldn't know until the news media pounds on them. So we are open to work with Joy FM, because we detest this kind of practice by a few farmers who want to use children to achieve any economic gain. Because look, we don't allow that. It is by the laws of Ghana, it's illegal, it is criminal to do that.
Kwete Nate, who put together that investigation, joins us via Zoom. Kwete, what more did you uncover in this investigation?
Aisha, the investigation, which will be aired on Monday on the Super Morning Show as well as the Joy News channel, shows how parents are complicit in this illegal trade, as well as children being forced to drop out of school because their services are needed on the cocoa farm in the Western North region, in the Ashanti region, in the Eastern region. Will also be showing and sharing experiences of children who spray cocoa farms, which is an illegal practice, by the way. The documentary also highlights how much some of these masters pay for the children to engage the services of these children.
All right, Kwete Nate is our investigative journalist who put together this one excerpt of the documentary. Children in Cocoa Labor will air on Monday, January 10 at 8:30 a.m. on a Super Morning Show and 8:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel. Make a date. We'll take a break on Joy News Prime. We'll bring you more. Constitutional lawyers are divided on what should happen to the country's constitution enacted in 1992. There has been calls led by the Fix the Country movement for the constitution to be scrapped in its entirety. However, 3 lawyers are of the opinion that the constitution needs fixing, but not a total overhaul.
You realize that despite these imperfections, this is the best constitution that we all have. Yes, certainly may need some overhaul a little bit, but to come to a conclusion that this constitution has outlived its usefulness, I think it will be overstretched. But this constitution has outlived even the expectations of so many people, knowing the constitutionality of Ghana, because the predecessor of this constitution lasted for 22 months. The predecessor of the 1979 Constitution also lasted for 22 months. And for this Constitution to live from 1993 to today, I believe that we have to give praise to this Constitution, notwithstanding some of the imperfections that you and I may have identified.
It's exciting that so far everybody agrees that this our Constitution is no longer fit for purpose. We need to do something very urgently about it. The major problem of the Constitution is that it has concentrated too much power in the presidency, and that is endemical to our development. So once we all agree on the general principle that we have an authoritarian constitution, well, we can see that tablet all some work, but because of issues of acceptance here and there, it looks like it's inevitable that we have to go through a certain exercise again for people to validate the work of the commission or something of that sort to get more broad-based acceptance. Okay, so let's not underrate what we've achieved so far, and that is the fact that we all agree that we must do something about the Constitution.
Today is a holiday marking the coming into force of that Constitution and also celebrating the Fourth Republic, which has lasted the longest since independence. What do people make of this day?
That when you don't know your past, you don't know where you are heading to. When you look at the First Republic, that is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's era, and then the Second, and then to the end of the Third Republic, and then we accepting the Fourth Republic. It is very important. We need to acknowledge the day, and then the peaceful atmosphere that we are enjoying as to the leadership that we are giving to our people. When you look at from President Rawlings to John Ajekun Kufuor to Atta Mills to John Mahama and then to Nana Addo now, it looks as we are having a smooth transition. And then as at now, when you look at how the youth are on government to deliver, making sure that basic necessities that we need to have in our areas are up to, it is very important we acknowledge this day.
Yeah, the Constitution Day is worth celebrating, because the 1992 Republican Constitution is the foundation of the Fourth Republic, which started from 1990 through to the 1993. And the process of giving birth to the Fourth Republic started in the 1990, but actually came into force on 7th January 1993. And as I said, although it it is worth celebrating. There are a lot of problems in the 1992 Constitution which must be amended. One main problem is that it has given too much powers to the executive organ, precisely the president.
It's just appropriate that we appreciate why we are celebrating this Constitution Day, or the need to have this Constitution Day. You'd agree with me that before 1992 we had countless coup d'etat in this country, civilian government being overthrown here and there, until 1992, where the Fourth Republic actually began on the 7th of January, where Flight Lieutenant George Rawlings became the president of the Fourth Republic. And yes, I agree that we should have a celebration of the Constitution.
Well, I haven't even thought about today being a constitutional holiday. I'm a businessman and I don't really focus on government businesses. So I'm not well in tune with the constitutional affairs of the country.
Constitutional holiday is a new policy that has been brought into the country. So each and everyone is celebrating it as such. Yeah. That's what. We are only resting. During holidays, you need to be in the house and have a rest, have a chat with your family, and have fun.
I think is that it reminds us of the Constitution, 1992 Constitution, how it came about and the logics behind why they were put in place in the Parliament. For me, I am busy at the office, so I have so much to do, and I'm on my way to the office to get my work done.
So every day we are expected to live our lives in conformity with what the Constitution states. So I don't necessarily think that a special day should be designated for a Constitution Day, because the Constitution guides our lives every day as citizens. Without the Constitution, definitely there would have been chaos. Probably if we as citizens and the government, gubernatorial actors, do the needful in ensuring that the details of the Constitution are truly enacted, the concept of balancing of powers, effecting punishments for people who contradict the whims and caprices of the Constitution are properly dealt with, then probably you could see that there should be much enthusiasm celebrating a day like this, knowing that you are remembering and you are kind of using days like this to give more rise to people to praise the government for actually ensuring that the rule of law is operating well. So for me, until we reach a point at Africa, at Ghana, where rules are effected, the Constitution is effected well, people are punished accordingly, then a day like this will be like any other day.
And so to come in business, implementation of government's policy directive on reversal of benchmark discounts on some imported items deferred once again. Meanwhile, government is being urged not to succumb to pressure to suspend the directive.
I think that between importation and production, I will go for production, local production.
Okay.
And of course, in the long run, you don't start local manufacturing at the economy of.
We take a break. We are back with business.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. The implementation of government's policy directive on reversal of benchmark discounts on some imported items has been deferred once again to Monday, the 17th of January 2022. A statement said transitional arrangements to ensure a smooth implementation will allow a storage-free period for vessels that discharge on the 31st of December 2021 to go through clearance without being affected by the reversal policy. The Ghana Union of Traders Association and the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana have met with the Finance Minister seeking a total suspension of the reversal policy. But competition economist and country director of CAS International, Apia Kusi-Adumako, says local manufacturing must be prioritized over imports.
It's very expensive for the benchmark values to be restored to the level that it was before it was brought down in the short run. But the long term, I think that the economy is going to benefit from a very strong manufacturing sector. Take, for example, when the COVID came, if our manufacturing sector wasn't strong, I think Ghanaians would have starved to death. Almost the PPEs that were used were all produced in Ghana because we had a manufacturing sector. I think that between importation and production, I'll go for production, local production.
Okay.
And of course, in the long run, you don't start local manufacturing at the economy of scale. You need to start gradually.
Okay.
Because some of the goods that are produced here are very expensive compared to the imported one. But for the long term, I think that economists will say that the prices will be at the marginal cost.
Let's switch to another story. The year 2021 was regarded by many financial analysts as tough, recovering from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, many were laid off from their work, impacting the socio-economic expectations in the process. Beginning a new year, many organizations have to plan, and financial planning for corporate institutions is often easier. But have you thought about how the informal sector does it? With a week into January, Lab Business examines the financial preparedness of some informal sector players. Here's Mona Lisa Frimpong with this report.
Have you thought about how January is considered to be the longest month in a year and that it has 8 weeks instead of 4 weeks in a year? Well, how is your current financial situation now? Have you set any goals? And what methods are you employing to achieve these goals?
With the consistent increase in fuel prices, 52-year-old John Adair, a taxi driver, makes little income. His transport and meals for the day are all included in the 50 Ghana cedis he makes daily. He plans of having a side hustle to support himself.
Okay, another plan I make is that unless I look for another work attached this work, because if I stand on this work, it cannot survive me unless I get another work in the somewhere to attach, or I get my woman. Maybe if I can get money and get shop for him, or if I can get a store to go up and down from that woman. If the woman gets me too, I get, and then we journey together. From the at the end of the day, we can get something. But without that, if you stand on this work only, you cannot survive.
Safeguarding income lately has become a little hard. Price hikes of goods and services are partly to blame. Ama Santoa, a pure water seller, says this has affected her capacity to save.
Yes, sir, no business, yes, when you're talking and quiet, you kind of boy.
Business is not booming, so I am unable to save.
Because 1 year, we saw Naka 30 pesos was one top. And now I see the 20 pesos was one top. The money to the from so as a meton, intimate one is a swat.
Some businessmen are strategizing to prevent losses and cut down cost of doing business. In a bid to survive this year, shoemaker Shadrach Yaukusi is reducing the quality of materials used in making shoes. He believes this will double his profit.
2022, my plan is the same because I say I do man now. Scarcely any 20 pairs now. Be as all the covers or tissue. One tissue. Uska the banner. Unya shwinye in film. So two do man now.
Prices of raw materials are high, so I use leather of less quality.
The best me use materials any papa. Mam dia because me use papa de yamawa. About 20 me so me kwa me kwa echi am de so a ma pampam.
People look to the new year to shed bad habits and embrace new ones. Some agree that last year was terrible, but they are ready to embrace changes by quitting unnecessary expenditure.
Maybe I'm not tired and credit about so me am a life kakrafa. Me tired but and Kurani, you know, Kurani Pejano. You know who say
I am a spendthrift, but I will reduce it and focus on my children instead.
For the habit of saving, once I save, I just go for all the money and then use it for something agent. But I believe that when you want to save, you need to have a plan.
Just a week in 2022, preparing for the unknown lies ahead in our best interest. Mona Lisa Frempong reporting.
Guess you've already drawn your plan. That's Business Tonight. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Powell. Sports is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the sports segment on the Joy News Prime with me, Oreku Ampofo. President of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, believes the Black Stars have the quality available to secure a fifth Africa Cup of Nations. Ghana will be hoping to end a long way to win yet another AFCON title since last doing so in 1982. The Black Stars last made a final appearance at the Continental Showpiece in 2015, where they lost on penalties against Ivory Coast.
I have so much confidence in the squad. Youth or age is on their side, and I think this team will also dominate the African continent and beyond. I believe that as we prepare for the AFCON, the platform that AFCON presents will give each one of these players the opportunity to show what they are made of. I always believed in the squad. I believed that the team at that time, Siki Akono and his guys, I think, did enough to ensure that we qualified, and we did qualify. Now, qualification is behind us. The team is improving by the day, and we only have to support our own. I expect this team to go a collection of young
Well, that was President of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, speaking ahead of Ghana's AFCON opener on Monday at 4 p.m. against the Atlas Lions of Morocco. However, the Ghana Premier League will still be going on during the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. And in fact, there was a game today as Kwesi Donsu snatched a late equalizer for Mediama Sporting Club as they drew 1-1 with Berekum Chelsea in a Week 12 encounter in Takwa this afternoon. Here are the highlights of the game. Well, the draw sends Mediama to fourth in the Ghana Premier League table with 19 points. However, before we go, let's get up to date in terms of the fixtures for the remaining games in Week 12 of the Ghana Premier League. You can see the game today between Mediama and Berekum Chelsea ending 1-1. On Saturday, 11 Wonders host King Faisal as Hartlepool look to return to winning ways when they travel to BBNE to face Gold Stars. Accra Lions host Wafa. On Sunday, Dreams FC without Fatah Isaku, who will be the Black Stars, host struggling Legon Cities as LT, also without their top scorer David Abagna, travel to Bechem to face Bechem United. Great Olympics would be at home against Kerala United as Elmina Sharks play Adriana Stars. Asante Kotoko would be playing against Ashcroft. That's how we wrap up the first part of the sports segment. You can get some more sports stories on myjoyonline.com/sports or follow us on social media at Joy Sports GH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and I'll be back later with the second part of sports.
And it's time now for Showbiz. IB is standing by with the very latest. Hello, hi, IB.
Hi, Aisha. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you too?
Well, we are having a very good time on the Dodi Princess here at the Dodi Island on the Volta Lake. So you know that Latif Abubakar and the Globe Production, powered by Joy Entertainment, started the test of play on the 29th. So from the 29th and the 30th, they had Thank God for Idiot. And then on the first, second, and third, they had something kill a man. And now, tonight has been amazing. It's been very amazing. People come all the way from Winneba and Kumasi just to be part of this one. But I have Latif here. Hold on and let's find out why he even decided to have a theater on a cruise in the first place. Latif, how are you doing? Okay, so you decided to end the best of place on a cruise. Why?
Definitely, we wanted to give our patrons a different kind of experience. They're used to plays in the auditorium over and over and over. The partnership with Joy Entertainment for the first time we did the first ever open air theater, and we felt that we must do something quite innovative and different, which is theater on the cruise.
Okay.
We planned together and then we executed it today.
Well, how was the turnout in the first place?
Sold out. I think the first show was sold out, so we are grateful to God.
Okay.
The other most important thing is that the patrons actually love the production.
Okay.
They're excited about the experience and they want to be part of the next one. So
Okay. So what? The same people who came today want to come for tomorrow?
Now they are looking for producers to stay and
Okay.
have fun tomorrow. It's fun. Like their partners. And then the play, thank God for visions, actually speaks about relationship.
Okay.
So I mean, if you look at the background, you see that people are excited.
Yes, that's the background. As you can see, so many people. These are some of the people. The rest are on the upper deck, and they are really having a good time. So, is this going to be an annual thing? Are you going to keep this up?
Most definitely. I think that if the audience are calling for it, what we do to serve them, and we
Okay.
deliver. It's actually going to be an annual event. Theater on the go have come to stay. Thanks to Joy Entertainment.
Well, Aisha, there you had it. We're still on the Dodi Princess, and we're going back to land. We are done with the play for today. Unfortunately, unlike the other plays where you had 2 viewings or 2 sessions, tonight is only 1. And we are done with it. We are going back and go and continue the party on land.
Ivy, I envy you a lot. You promised to take me there, right?
Well, tomorrow is also happening tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow, again, the Thank God for Idiot is going to be staged on the Princess. And I will send a car to come and pick you up, okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ivy. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You get updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.